I want to go ahead and read what we just got out here. Mike Ybarra, you guys know this guy. He's one of the co-leads of Blizzard. Used to be with Jen O'Neill, and then Jen found out that she just got promoted basically to fill a diversity slot. It offended her, and among other things, she stepped down. So Mike Ybarra right now is the de facto leader of Blizzard. So he put a statement out, and he's talking about basically what the future of, I'm assuming, Blizzard is going to be under the leadership of Microsoft. So that's basically it. She was paid less too. She was paid less, and on top of that, not only was she paid less, but her and Mike Ybarra collectively went to the leadership asking for them to be paid the same amount, and it was declined. So I like Mike a lot. I've always been a fan of Mike. He plays WoW. He actually plays WoW. He's got better fucking Mythic Plus parses than I do. And so it's reassuring to have that. And it's certainly better than J. Allen Brack. I'll say that for sure. You never hear about him do fucking anything. He plays Warrior too. Yeah, I mean, remember whenever Jeff Kaplan was in charge? Warriors were really fucking good, okay? Like, it was awesome. It was like vanilla WoW to like Wrath. Like, those were the fucking golden days, okay? So yeah, I mean, let's keep having the guy that's a warrior main in charge of the company. Okay, so let's see here. Putting our teams and players at the forefront of everything we do. What a surprise. That's good. I'm humbled to be part of the Blizzard Entertainment. The rich history, the incredible talent, the best player communities, and of course, the amazing games we're so fortunate to create. A little bit of background on Mike Ybarra is he actually used to work for Xbox, so things are coming full circle for him. I actually know a couple of other guys that moved over from Blizzard to Microsoft recently, and now, you know, it's like Blizzard's coming over too. It must feel pretty weird. Yeah, rich history? Nah. Real shit. Like, Blizzard has, in terms of like a gaming company, Blizzard has some of the like craziest history of like any company, man. Like, think about like how many companies have like their trade show that people pay thousands of dollars to go to as consumers, right? Which is BlizzCon. Like, BlizzCon's effectively a trade show, you know? Like, I mean, they talk about their new products, they talk about their plans as a company. Like, yeah, it's not industry focused, but you still figure out what they're going to do. And the fact is that, like, the reason why Blizzard was able to do that is that they built a community of people that loved Blizzard. It's like, imagine loving $1 billion company. You don't have to. Many people used to love Blizzard like that. And the fact is that it is a rich history, and I'm glad to see that people put that into context, because I think there are some people that, like, we talked about this yesterday with the fucking narrative of WoW, where the narrative of WoW is being changed for what I believe to be a partially narcissistic reason, so that the people writing it can have ownership over that narrative. And I think that the acknowledgement that you are not owning this thing, you are merely a steward of this thing. You are merely carrying it forward for the next generation. It's a certain amount of humility, and it's a certain amount of respect. So it's good to hear that, and it's good to see that. You see what I'm saying? Good. All right, let's keep going. I've been leading Blizzard for a couple of months now, and in addition to our exciting news this week, I want to share some initial thoughts as we strive to put our team and players at the forefront of everything we do. I'm going to zoom in just a little bit so you guys can read it a little bit easier. 2021 was challenging for all of us. As individuals, we care about treating everyone around us with respect and dignity. As professionals, we care deeply about our crafts, and we want to work with the most supportive and safe environment possible. I think that's true, right? I mean, obviously, there's a lot of people at Blizzard that don't feel this way, or a lot of people at Blizzard that didn't feel this way. Hopefully those people no longer are at the company. And again, like, so I like to read between the lines a little bit with things, and I'll give you an example of how I did that recently with, do you remember the guy that had the Nazi cat picture? And he's like making all these like weird comments about employees and just like a weird asshole. Do you remember him? That guy literally complained that a lot of the people that were assholes were fired. So like, whenever you have somebody in the inside complaining privately that they're firing all the people that are causing trouble, I have a pretty good feeling that like he's not making that statement for the public, right? This is like his actual feelings, his actual thoughts. And if that's how he feels about the company, it seems like, well, maybe they're actually making positive change. That's a good thing. So that's why I have a certain degree of trust in it, is because it's been complained about by people that were assholes. You see kind of what I'm saying? Our top priority now and into the future is the work that we're doing to rebuild your trust in Blizzard. And I think this is a good thing. There's nothing there. This is good. I'm glad to hear this, because I think that really it is about the trust. Because the reason why people would go to BlizzCon is because they felt like it was a, we don't really like to use this word a lot, but we're going to use it. They felt that it was a safe space. They felt like it was a place that they could go to and be in the presence of friends and comrades, or, the camaraderie, people that are of the same mindset as you. It's like the same feeling like that I would used to get whenever I went to the card shop. Is like, I was like 14, right? But like, you go to the card shop and like there's these, fucking 40-year-old, 400-pound, like fat, balding men with glasses, and they act just the same way as you do, and you play Magic the Gathering together, and you fucking talk about anime, and it's like you feel like you're part of the community, right? Like, as a kid, that's what it was. Thank you, Fandy. She said my hair looks nice. I appreciate that. So yeah, I mean, those were the good days, man. Those are the fucking great days. So I think this is the main important thing, is that making, it's going to take, I'd say it probably take 3 or 4 years for Blizzard. And like, this is assuming no L's, right? This is like a no L situation, which is a no reality situation probably too. Is that if in 3 or 4 years Blizzard doesn't really have a lot of problems anymore and they release some good products, I think everybody's going to be willing to move past it. Really, I think that they are. And I think that the best apology, the truth is that the best apology that Blizzard can make, and I say this with streamers too, is that the best apology for bad content is good content. And if you're willing to come back and make good content, it doesn't matter what you did before. Nobody gives a fuck. They just care. Like, Soda Poppin' was right. Like, Soda Poppin' one time said that you're only as good as your last 2 streams. And I think that's very insightful. And I found it to be true for myself, and also for other people as well. The best apology is just better content. If Blizzard wants to gain the trust back in their community, make whatever the next WoW expansion is good. Make Overwatch 2 good. Make Diablo 4 good. Make it play well. It doesn't have to be as complicated or as complex as PoE. Make it better in another way. Don't try to compete with PoE. Make something that's beyond that. Make something that's true to what Diablo is. And there's a lot of other things like that too. StarCraft, we could talk about that too. But overall, that's the way I think that they can really apologize for this whole situation that's happened, is with good content. Watching Blizzard work creatively and diligently as we have throughout this challenging time, on top of an ongoing pandemic, has been inspiring. Navigating these challenges, evolving our department processes, and being introspective and looking at how we can improve our culture shows incredible strength and commitment to one another, our work, and the player communities. I think that's good. I mean, I definitely think this is a good thing to hear. There's no... that's a cap? Why is it a cap, though? Like, I mean, I don't know. To me, like, it seems like this is the same example that I gave you guys before. Remember what I was talking about? Like, how, like, really, really rich people and, like, companies will pay, like, Big Four accounting firms to audit them? This is the same thing. Blizzard effectively just got audited by California. So they're settling the lawsuit and everything, which means that the government literally went in there and removed and fucking found every single thing that was wrong inside of Blizzard. So in a way, Microsoft got a free fucking, like, $1 billion worth of HR for free through California. You see kind of what I'm saying? They cleaned house. Yeah, they fucking deleted them. And like, the good thing, you think about it, like, just for 2 seconds, they found everything. They didn't find everything. It's never about finding everything. It's about getting as close to zero as possible, right? It's always about getting as close to getting everything as possible. Like, you never hit zero. It's like with a law, right? Like, there's never been a law that was made that prevented a crime, but there are laws that are made that reduce crime. And that's the goal. It's not to prevent crime, it's to reduce crime. And it's not to prevent people from doing bad shit, it's to reduce the amount of people that do bad shit. It's common sense. That's the way I see it. And so I don't think this is necessarily a cap. But again, why would you think that it's not a cap? That's the other thing. It's like, I can logically look at this and say it's probably not a cap. However, a lot of people don't give a fuck about what my logic is. They think to themselves, this company was fucked. It's been fucked for years. It's probably still fucked. And Occam's razor. Probably it is. You know, in a lot of ways, without looking at any of the other contexts. And that is the price of bad PR. That is the price of having a bad relationship with your community. And I've gone, and it's about having a good reputation. It's like having charisma in an Elder Scrolls game. It's like having luck in another video game. It doesn't help you on like a tangible level where it increases your health by 5 points or 10 points or your damage by 5 or 10 points or anything like that. But it helps in ways that you don't really see. It helps in ways that when it matters more than anything else. And the example that I always used with this conversation is Swifty. Remember whenever Swifty had those accusations about how he was this terrible person? And nobody fucking believed him, because we've watched Swifty for 15 fucking years, and we know that's not the kind of person he is, because we've watched him fucking 24 hours a day most of the time. So we knew that. And the reason why people had his back in that situation is because he had the reputation. And that's whenever reputation matters. That's whenever it really makes a fucking difference. And that's whenever somebody like Method Josh, for example, like you hear all this bad shit about Method Josh, and it's like, yeah, of course he did it. Just look at him, right? Just look at the way he acts. Of course he fucking did that. Like there wasn't even a question about it. People just knew it was true. So that's what I'm really trying to get at, is that like reputation and shit like that really does matter. And that's why I think a lot of you guys don't trust Blizzard now. And I can say that like logically it might not make sense to not trust Blizzard, but in a big way it does. It does make sense to not trust them. And I think that it's, again, earning the trust back. Yeah, zero charisma, negative charisma, actually. Navigating these challenges, evolving our development processes, and being introspective and looking at how we can improve our culture shows incredible strength and commitment to one another, our work, and the player communities. Yeah, that's good. I was also encouraged in reading forums, social posts, and emails from people within and outside of Blizzard standing up for what's right and lending us your guidance. I want to let you all know that we're listening and we're committed to change. As a first step towards improving communication with the community, I wanted to highlight some of the initial actions we're taking to improve our culture. See, I really prefer to have, I prefer to have posts like this. I think this is a good thing. It's a PR talk. Well, the thing is, like, whenever you have, this is the good thing about a PR talk like this, is that a PR talk like this establishes benchmarks. So it's like, what they're saying is that we are going to solve the problem with these bullet points. So in 6 months or a year, if the problem still exists, and you go back and you think, oh, well, they didn't do the bullet points, then yeah, it's all a bunch of bullshit. But if you put something on the table and you say, this is what I'm going to do, it's a lot harder to kind of like weasel around that. It's like a promise. Yeah, well, it's tangible to an extent, right? It is a promise of tangible action, which is more meaningful, which, I mean, we can all agree here, is more meaningful than not doing it. Like if he just came out and said, we care about diversity, this would just be an omega lull. Everybody would be like, oh, yeah, sure, right? Okay, nobody gives a fuck. So if you come in and you actually talk about real shit, talk about things you're going to do, it makes a difference. We're measuring our executive and management teams directly against culture improvement. This will mean their and my own success and compensation will directly depend on our overall success in creating a safe, inclusive, and creative work environment at Blizzard. That's good. A lot of times, one of the big criticisms of, I would say, just like as a whole, American corporate culture. One of the main criticisms for American corporate culture is that the people that make bad decisions do not suffer from those bad decisions. It's like the whole golden parachute conversation. the whole, like, Bobby Kotick, you know, I talked about this before. This is Bobby's world. We're just living in it. Bobby Kotick is going to walk away from this whole situation with $400 million. You see what I'm saying? Like, where's the accountability there? So we talk about accountability like this, and that's a good thing. Yeah, it pisses everybody off. We're dedicating more full-time roles and resources to improving our culture. All too often, this important effort falls to employee resource groups filled with people who already have full-time jobs. A few of the leadership positions we've established for the new team include a culture leader who will help us maintain the best aspects of what we have today. I don't know what a culture leader is. Like, I would hope that's like the culture leader. Is this the guy that, like, schedules the pizza parties? You know what I mean? Like, what does this really fucking mean? I feel like this is a little bit of a corporate jargon. And, like, back in the at the IRS, like, we used to have this shit all the time, right? But, like, our culture leader was our fucking manager, who would just, decide that we're gonna fuck it, everybody brings KFC tomorrow, and we just eat KFC and cupcakes all day. We don't do any work. So, like, every office has a culture leader. It's just that some people don't have that as a job description. It's just what happens. And yeah, it was Pog. It was Pog as fuck, man. It was great. Absolutely. Culture leader is somebody who made bad comments about cis white men on Twitter. And that's the thing, right? Is like you've had a lot of, I've said this before, is that Blizzard has more people popping off on Twitter with their fucking delusional, like, extremist takes. Like, it has more people that come out of Blizzard say crazy shit on Twitter than, like, every other gaming company in the world combined. I don't know what it is over there, but hopefully the culture leader can maybe sort that out a little bit. Because it's weird. It really is weird. California people, there's plenty of other development studios in California, and those people don't pop off like that. They'll make it worse. Here's the thing. To be honest with you, I really don't give a fuck what the employees' political preferences are. I don't care. If the game is good and they're not putting these in the game in an overt way that affects the game and affects my escapism of the game, then I don't really give a fuck what their politics are. I don't care, but they will, and whenever they do, you know that there's going to be a video about it. You know there's going to be a video about it. There will probably be 3 videos about it. So yeah, that's what I think, is like, yeah, I'll definitely fucking do that. 100%, man. That's why they'll put it in the game to make you care. Well, then people are just gonna, that is always a bad idea. As I've always said, is that using a story that doesn't really have this intrinsically with it as a vehicle to promote somebody's real world political views in a ham-fisted way, nobody wants this. Nobody wants to deal with this. Obviously, you have some games like Metal Gear Solid that just, it's like politics in that game and politics in other games. I'm trying to think of another example. Metal Gear Solid is just like the first example I can think of, right? Is like there are political ideas that are just by the nature of what the game is tied into it. However, it's always been like that, right? That's what I'm really saying. It's always been like that. Every war game, yeah. So, like, it depends. I think that people, like, in general, people don't have a problem with politics in video games. People have a problem with taking a video game that doesn't really have overt political motives and then putting them in the game. People don't like the change rather than they don't like the message. I think most people don't care about the message. They just don't like the change, and they don't like having it having a bait and switch. You see what I'm saying? But everything's political, but it's not, though. Like, people just say that so they can rationalize putting in their fucking extremist ideas in places they shouldn't be. Not everything is not political. It's ridiculous. So let's look at the rest of this. We got off on a tangent there. I apologize. A new organizational leader for human resources who will build trust, empower our teams, and help foster a safe, positive work environment for everyone. How many times back a few months ago, whenever all this Blizzard shit came out, did people complain about how human resources fucked them over? Too many. I remember reading at least a half dozen. So yeah, I think that's a good thing. diversity, equality, and inclusion. Leaders solely focus on our progress across multiple efforts across this area. I think that this is something that like a company cares about. Us as like consumers, this doesn't really matter to most of us as consumers. We just want to consume the product and not have it be garbage. So like really all of these things are mainly to the employees of Blizzard. Like what the fuck do we care? Employees do not care about the culture of different companies. If they did, then people wouldn't still be buying Nike because they're made by, you know, third world laborers that live in warehouses that they're locked in overnight so they can't escape. They got nets across the different floors so they can't kill themselves. But people still buy the shoes because they don't give a fuck. People just want to have a good product and everything else is secondary. So that's one thing I hope that Blizzard can understand, is that the product is the king. That's what really matters. We tripled the size of our compliance and investigation teams and have articulated clear accountability for unacceptable behavior. This applies to all employees at Blizzard, including leadership and management. I would hope so. We have shared representation data internally with our teams and have set goals around improvement across these metrics. Okay, let's see here. We put in place an upward feedback program so that employees have confidence in evaluating management, and we will use this to measure the quality and effectiveness of our managers. That's good. Yeah, this is good. This is the main one that's good, because at a certain point, and this is a problem. I think that it's like my dad told me about this. Like, I don't know if y'all have read this same shit before, is that one of the best indicators of if somebody is happy at their job or not is the relationship that they have with their immediate supervisor. So putting that as like as a point that matters is really important, because like if your boss is an asshole, your job is probably going to suck. Like, I've never had an asshole boss before. I really haven't. At the IRS, we did have, his name was Charles. Charles was an asshole, but I was an asshole too, and we pretty much got along with each other, right? It was okay. So yeah, it's like, it was not that bad, is really what I'm saying. Like, I remember he didn't want, he didn't want to celebrate his birthday because, he would have to celebrate everybody else's birthday and he wouldn't feel special about it. And then there was this other time that like he wanted to get pineapple on a pizza, and so we passed around a thing and he told everybody that he wanted pizza and everybody had to vote for pineapple, and we passed it around. We made Roman numerals on like which pizza we wanted, and so they passed it to me and I saw pineapple was winning, and I put like 5 fucking marks for pepperoni. And it made pepperoni win. Charles locks himself in his office, won't talk to anyone, doesn't want to fucking hear anything from the employees. We had to fucking have somebody else call in the order. And instead of that, he's ordering fucking specialized smoked salmon to the building so he can eat smoked salmon alone in his fucking office while everybody else eats pepperoni pizza, which, by the way, everybody else didn't fucking want pepperoni pizza. So at the end of the night, whenever your boy Asmongold was about to leave and there was like a whole pepperoni pizza that was not eaten because nobody wanted it, guess who took it home? So it's funny. So like me and the managers and shit, like we went back and forth. And there was another time, like I was processing a text document and I stapled a dollar bill to the document. And like, I really cannot explain how bad of a fuck up that is. Like, I didn't know what to do with the dollar bill. I stapled it on there, right? And I remember Charles pulls me into his office, because like Charles is like my boss's boss. And it was like my boss and then Charles, right? And I would interact with all of them all the time. And he just held up the paper. He's like, he didn't say anything. And I was like, look, it was I'm like, it is what it is. And I remember he's like, all right, well, go fix it. And so, yeah, it is what it is. So, like, the relationship, the point that I'm getting at here, right? And like, even at Sam's Club, whenever I worked at Sam's Club, very short period of time, is like the boss that I had is this guy named Juan. I remember like I had to do an orientation, and he just literally fucking pulled me out the chair. He said, man, fuck that shit, dude. Let's just go down and make some pizzas. I said, all right, bro. And like everything was totally chill, right? And like even his boss, like his boss's boss, the other guy, like I had to deal with him. It was fine, right? It was not even a big deal. And so, yeah, like the experience that you have with the people that are in charge of you is like the most important thing. And I can guarantee you, if you're pissed off at your manager, because we had people like this at the IRS, and they were pissed off at the manager for like something stupid. And I remember they would be sitting there on their fucking phone, like complaining to like their wife or like to their husband or their friend about how much of a bitch the manager is. And it's like, you're not working. You're not thinking about helping out, you know, the fucking, the employees, right? Like you're getting paid fucking $20 an hour to be here. And this is like 10 years ago. It's a lot of fucking money. It's like you're on the phone complaining, like, bitch, hang up the phone, like get to work. But like she's upset, she's mad. The fact is that like the way that happens is that people are upset about their manager. And so having a manager that pisses people off, having a manager that creates a hostile work environment, it's poison, man. It's absolute fucking poison. And it's really important to make sure that there's accountability to management. Work is the poop, no more. Honestly, bro, like there were so many people that were like that. It was so funny. Like I could never understand it, but you know, that's what it was. That's why I quit recently. That's the army in a nutshell. Yeah, I have no doubt that it can be. Yeah, no doubt. Why are people hating on white people? I tell you, like in the government, everybody's the same. There's not really any of the, nobody ever really even talked about any of that, like, you know, like white or black or like Hispanic, Mexican, like any of that shit. People just got along. Like there was never an issue. There was never even a conversation, a subtext around it. People just wanted to fucking go to work, get paid, and leave. Right? I mean, that's the way most normal jobs work. Yeah, Latino, Latinx. I don't know. Like, listen, the thing is, I don't really know. I never know. Like, there's a lot of people that are, like, from Mexico, and I usually wait for them to say what they want to be called. Some people like being called, you know, Hispanic. Other people like being called Mexican. I don't give a fuck. Just whatever you want, I do that. It's, again, like, I'm trying not to offend somebody, right? That's what it comes down to. Yeah, I tend to use their names. Yeah, for sure. I'd be sure. Sure, we're St. Louis Rebellion. 1040X department is hilarious. How lazy and salty all those grown-ass adults were. 1040X department. There's a little bit more stuff that we did too, but you know, I said I did like 3 jobs there, and that's why I didn't get fired for stapling the dollar bill. By the way, it's because I was doing well, right? So like they're not gonna fire me because I'm already doing a good job. So like that's a really good bit of advice. Like if you've got a job, make sure that if you're an asshole or you're a fuck up, that you're not an asshole or a fuck up in something completely different, right? Make sure that you're really good at your job so they can't fire you for being a piece of shit. That was my perspective. Anyway, I've just been going off on a tangent. Let's talk about the rest of this. These actions are just the beginning of the work that lies ahead for Blizzard. I'm motivated and excited to work directly on building the best environment for our teams to allow them to bring their visions to life. We also know we need to deliver content to our players on a more regular basis and innovate both in and beyond our existing games. So yeah, again, big surprise. Mike Ybarra plays WoW, and he's talking about how we need to deliver content on a more regular basis and innovate fucking in and beyond our existing games. Yeah, true. Fucking true, bro. Like, yeah. Exactly. Fucking exactly. Yeah, definitely, man. We have some exciting things to announce, and I'll be sharing more next week. Great. I'm glad about that. I'm very happy about that. I want to thank our communities and our incredible team for your dedication and guidance, which will always be our North Star. You're doing an incredible 2022 and beyond. I think this is good. There's nothing really here that's like bad. A lot of this stuff, I don't really care about like what they do like internally with their culture, right? I care about it to an extent, but my main focus is on the game and the products that come out of the company, right? The culture is just, it's mainly just the means to an end. So all this other stuff is like whatever to me. The fact that they're acknowledging that they need to deliver content more regularly and more innovative content is really important. I think it's good to say that. So anyway, it's good to see Mike Ybarra take a little bit more accountability for the problems that have happened at Blizzard, and I think this is a positive thing. Blizzard's story is actually more impressive than the story in the games nowadays. Yeah, it's funny. Yeah, you're right. The fucking Blizzard, the narrative around Blizzard is more compelling than the narrative around Shadowlands. You're right about that.